Well, hello there, eighth grade. Welcome to our at-home lesson 2 for magnetic fields. I'm just waiting for our slides to load and then we will get going. Okay, good. So today you'll read an article about the magnetic force that surrounds Earth, how it affects compasses, and how scientists model it. In the previous lesson, you gathered evidence about how magnets in a system can attract each other, repel each other, or do both, depending on the position of like poles and opposite poles. This article will help you gather even more evidence about how magnets in a system work. So this article will help us answer the investigation question, which is, how can you tell whether two magnets will attract each other, repel each other, or both? So this is, how can we make that prediction? So remember, in this class, we use an active reading approach when we read. You will use this approach today when you read the article about Earth's geomagnetism. Science reading can be especially complex. It is important to read science texts actively so you really understand what you read. Active reading helps you pay attention and learn when you read. The following slides show how an eighth grade student named Amund made annotations on the digital version of Earth's geomagnetism article. You will see what Amund was thinking about when he was reading. You will also see each annotation that he made. Making annotations is part of the active reading approach to reading science texts. Whew, that's a lot. By looking at Amund's annotations, you will learn more about how to annotate to show your thinking and some strategies you can use, such as asking questions and making connections and identifying challenging words. You can follow along in your article as you see what Amund did with his annotations on the next slides. You can also add your own annotations. So, okay, first, Amund read the title, Earth's Geomagnetism. Well, it's very explanatory. After reading the title, Amund thought, I'm curious what the word geomagnetism. This is not a word I'm familiar with. I will make a note about it so I can look for clues about what the word means. For example, with geomagnetism, I can guess that it has to do with magnets because magnet is part of the word. So he identified a tricky word and he's using strategies to try and figure it out. And in his annotations, he wrote, does this word have to do with magnets? After reading his question and the word geomagnetism in an annotation, Amund kept reading. Amund read the next two sentences of the first paragraph before stopping. When he was reading, he realized the word envelop was another unfamiliar, challenging word. Okay, so now we have two words that he has no idea. Okay, so he underlined the small magnetic needle is actually pushed and pulled by powerful magnetic forces that envelop Earth. So he underlined that tricky sentence. Amund remembered that one way to figure out what the word means is to read all the words around it for clues. He decided to read the entire sentence which the word envelop was found. After rereading the sentence, Amund thought, I can see from the rest of the sentence that envelop is sometimes a magnetic force I can see from the rest of the sentence that envelop is something that a magnetic force does to Earth. I wonder, listen to that I wonder statement. I wonder if this has anything to do with the clues and of what an envelope does. I'll keep looking for more clues as I read. The next slide shows the annotations Amund made. Amund highlighted the word envelop and wrote a question about it. He wanted to remember to come back to the word if he was able to figure out more about what it meant. So he identified a tricky word and where the sentence was, and then said, you know what? Not enough context clues. Amund continued to read. In the next sentence, he read the words magnetic field. He decided to make a note with a connection he made to these words. Until the unit is called magnetic fields, this article will help me learn more about this unit. So, okay, he identified, oh, this is something that the unit talks about. Okay, so your active reading guidelines are you're going to think carefully about what you read and you're going to pay attention to understanding. So you're going to make sure you know those tricky words and tricky sentences. As you read, annotate the text to make a record of your thinking. Highlight challenging words and add notes to record questions and make connections to your own experience. Examine all visual representations carefully. Consider how they go together with the text. So there's a lot of diagrams in this reading. You really need to pay attention to those because they actually give you a lot of help. And after you read, discuss what you have read with others to help better understand them. So it's kind of like that reflection step. So next you will read and annotate Earth's magnetism. The active reading guidelines can help you read actively. Okay, so you're going to go to the Earth's magnetism article. So that is attached to this lesson. You can also use this link for the audio file. So remember, annotations help keep track of and remember your thinking. So after you've done your active reading and you get to here, it's the next step in active reading is discussing and reflecting on your annotations. So you've pretty much at this point, you've read the article, you've done your annotations, and now you are ready to tell us about it. So to discuss annotations, first you're going to choose several interesting questions, connections, or ideas to share with a partner, but we don't have partners. So, but that's what you would share with the group, and you're going to tag one with #share. So you're going to find annotations that you like. Write about your chosen annotations on the next slide. Tag each annotation with #discussed for reference. Please also include any questions you still have, or if you find any unique connections or ideas. And when you are done, you're going to write your interesting questions, connections, or ideas in this one and our #discussed. And then you are going to do what interesting or unanswered questions you still have about the article. So this is a good start. This is where we're going to begin. So please, please, please read and annotate your text and then move on.